Coming in at number 5 is the mystery of the Bleeding House of Georgia. Yeah, so most people expect their homes to be places of safety, comfort, normalcy. But what if one day your home literally started bleeding? This was a harrowing reality for Minnie Winston, a 77-year-old Georgia resident who discovered a horrifying scene one evening in September of 1987. As she walked through her home, blood seemed to seep from the floors, walls, and even beneath the appliances. The Atlanta Police Department, alongside numerous investigators, descended on the property, searching for any logical explanation as to what was causing the blood, whose blood it was, where it was coming from, and why. Despite investigations, no evidence of foul play or a definitive cause was ever found. There was no sign of a break-in or in any of that evidence a sign of an intruder. Forensics analysis confirmed the presence of human blood among the substances, yet neither Minnie or her husband matched the blood type. Over the years, theories have ranged from supernatural to scientifically dubious. Yet still to this day, what the heck happened is still a mystery. Coming in at number 4, the mystery sky threads of New Jersey. A very strange, peculiar event occurred in the summer of 1970 that captured the imagination of an entire community. It began on a seemingly ordinary Sunday. August 2nd, Caldwell, New Jersey, residents noticed an unusual, mysterious thread hanging over the residence of Mr. and Mrs. Smith. This was no fleeting illusion. This thread hung from the air for several weeks, and no one had any idea where it was coming from. It seemed to defy explanations and attract dozens of onlookers. The Caldwell Progress, a local newspaper, brought the phenomenon to a wider attention, reporting that the thread appeared to hang directly from the clouds themselves. Which makes no sense, because what in the world would they be hanging on? I wouldn't want to hang on a thread that was hanging from a cloud. Obviously, speculation went wild among local authorities and townspeople. Mrs. Smith even humorously suggested it might be a direct line from the Martians. Like, what, hang on this thread and we'll take you to Mars? Others wondered if it was the remnant of a blip cruising the skies. Efforts to understand this mystery brought together eager minds and curious investigators. At one point, neighborhood boys armed with fishing poles managed to snag this thread. The boys allegedly reeled in buckets and buckets of this thread. The thread was analyzed by experts at DuPont, who determined it was some type of monofilament similar to fishing string, but noticeably different. Yet its origin remained elusive. The event even attracted the attention of John Keel, famous for the Mothman prophecies. Despite several investigations, including attempts to trace the source of the thread over several distances, neither its beginning or end could be found. None of it really makes any sense, because the threads are basically defying the principles of physics, remaining suspended through electrical storms and high winds without any visible point of attachment. Despite a lot of theories as to what they were, no satisfactory explanation has ever been provided. Coming in at number 3 is the USS Stein mystery sea monster. In 1978, the serene vastness of the Pacific Ocean became the stage for a mystery that continues to intrigue and perplex people to this day. The USS Stein was a United States Navy Knox-class destroyer escort, and this destroyer encountered something in the depths of the ocean that defied explanation, but left behind physical evidence of its existence. While patrolling the waters between Acapulco and Ecuador, the USS Stein suddenly experienced severe malfunctions. Now, these malfunctions happened in the sonar system, an essential tool for navigation and detection beneath the waves. This unexpected failure forced the vessel to return to the port in California for immediate repairs. Maintenance crews discovered astonishing damages to the sonar dome. The rubber coating that protected this critical piece of equipment was marred with deep cuts, covering more than 8% of its surface. But it's what was found within these wounds that sparked a wave of speculation and fear. They found large curved hooks reminiscent of what would be found in the suction cup of giant squid. However, they weren't just any squid hooks. They were nearly 5 times larger than what was known of any existing species, suggesting the possibility of an unknown, enormous, gigantic creature. Analysis of the hooks and damages to the USS Stein hinted a monster squid of staggering proportions, potentially upwards of 150 feet long. This size would dwarf the largest known squids, including the colossal and giant squid, which they themselves are the stuff of seafaring legends. Was it some type of undiscovered species? Was it like a mega mutant squid? Or was it something else that we haven't even discovered yet? As we delve into the mystery of the USS Stein monster, we're actually left with more questions than answers. For me, the ocean's depths are terrifying, but they also spark so much intrigue. There are still places where monsters can hide. This incident is a humble reminder that there's still a lot of the ocean that's unexplored. Coming in at number 2, we have Gil Perez and his mysterious case of alleged teleportation. The story of Gil Perez stands out as a bewildering account, of what many claim to be an instance of human teleportation. The tale transports us back to the year 1593 to the bustling streets of Manila in the Spanish Philippines. Gil Perez was a Spanish soldier and guardian of the governor's palace of Manila. However, one ordinary day in October, something extraordinary happened to Perez. Without warning, without explanation, he vanished from Manila. He then reappeared in Mexico City's Plaza Mayor, several thousand miles away. Obviously, this caused some confusion to the townspeople and Perez himself. Perez found himself in a completely different location wearing his same uniform. When questioned by local authorities, Perez recounted his tale. He claimed that moments before he had literally just been in the Philippines, and he had no knowledge of how he ended up in Mexico. Here's the thing, he was able to give detailed accounts of recent events that had just occurred in Manila, which were yet to be known in Mexico. This led to Perez being detained and interrogated, suspected of witchcraft or being a deserter. However, no rational explanation could be given for his sudden appearance. He knew that the governor of Manila had recently been assassinated, and that news had not traveled to Mexico yet. But it wasn't until months later that a ship arrived from Manila to Mexico and was able to confirm everything that Gil knew. This event has perplexed historians, scientists, and skeptics for centuries. How could a man allegedly teleport across the world during a time when such concepts didn't even exist yet? Was Gil Perez the subject of a divine intervention, a tear in the fabric of reality, or is there some other type of rational explanation that was somehow lost during the centuries of history? The mysterious case of Gil Perez remains one of the most captivating tales of the unexplained. It challenges our understanding of time and space, leaving us to wonder about the true extent of the unknown, not that unknown. Finally, coming in at number 1, we have the real mystery behind the Blob. In the fall of 1950, the city of Philadelphia became an unwitting host to an event so bizarre, it seemed ripped from the reels of a science fiction film. On the 27th of September, the Philadelphia Inquirer carried a headline that could have been easily dismissed as a sensationalist ploy, had it not been for the astonishing truth behind it. The headline was "Flying Saucer Just Dissolves." It all began with 2 seasoned Philadelphia police officers, Joe Keenan and John Collins, who witnessed an unidentified object plummeting from the night sky. Compelled by duty and curiosity, they followed its descent to the corner of Vare and 26th Street. There in the glow of the streetlights lay a mass unlike anything they or anyone else had ever encountered before. A large pulsating mass described as goo or purple jelly. This was no ordinary goo. The mass was 6 feet wide and seemingly to emit some type of purple mist in the air. Allegedly, it actually vibrated, moved on its own accord, and apparently tried to climb a local telephone pole. With such a spectacle unfolding, obviously, backup was soon called. Officers James Cooper and Sergeant Joe Cook arrived, bringing the total of witnesses to 4, all credible and all equally bewildered by what was in front of them. Then, for some reason, Officer Collins decided to put his hand into this goo. Allegedly, small blobs clung to his hand, only to immediately evaporate and disappear, leaving behind no trace of the odorless residue. And as if obeying some unseen cue, the entire mass vanished within 30 minutes of their first sighting, leaving the officers with nothing but their first-hand testimony as evidence. The following day, the story hit local media. The officers were adamant that what they had witnessed was alive and possibly even extraterrestrial, birthing a story that would transcend the incident itself to become legend in cinematic history. The Blob has since terrified and captivated audiences in 2 film adaptations, and a reminder of the endless possibilities that lurk just beyond our understanding. As we close the book on this series of mysteries, I'm curious to hear if you have any theories about these strange historical events. Please leave a comment down below and let me know what you think. And if you enjoy this type of content, please don't forget to subscribe for more. Thanks for watching, everyone. Until next time, I will see you later.